Greetings and salutations, and welcome to episode 236 of Ref the District. I'm Nathan Perry. That's Trev, and we've got a great show for you. As mentioned, give your shout out to Stoner. We have at least a couple of people that are calling him out for ghosting us, but no, really, it is a lot on him. He wants to be here. He is still active in the group chats. He's been helping out with production on the back end. So give our man Stoner some grace and some love, and as soon as he can be back, he's going to be back. But it's important for us as a team that we take care of ourselves, our family, and of course that job has to get done because we have to have a roof over your head. So we wish Stoner all the best. We love Stoner, and so we appreciate all those who show him support, like Franchise Talk here as well. He's not going to be here for the show, but we've got a great show as we do stream live every Wednesday here, 7:30 Eastern on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you hit that like button, sub up the channel, share it with other people so they can join the conversation as well. When we talk about things like the RFK Stadium update, votes happening on Friday. I've got some news and notes from that aspect of what's going on or surrounding the deal, including the team pushing forward with some more goodies for the DC Council to chew on. All that's coming up here in the warm-up. The cool down, I'm sorry, my friend Locked On Law, we are going to be talking about Terry McLaurin. Last week, Locked On Law ditched out early, even though we did not talk about Terry McLaurin at all. I'll let you know the cool down is when you can tap out if you're done with the Terry McLaurin stuff. But I've got some numbers. I've crunched the numbers, and they kind of speak in Terry's defense. That's just the way the numbers lied. But I understand where the team's coming from, and we'll talk all about that in the contract and stuff. If you didn't watch the numbers game, the new segment I've got going on, it debuted Tuesday because Monday I was dealing with some migraine issues, so I wasn't able to get it recorded. But if you haven't seen that fantastic new segment, let me know what you think. I want some feedback. It seems so far good, but we need more people to watch it for me to continue being able to do it. So just let you know for that. And then in the game, we're talking all things camp. Who are the bright faces that people are smiling about, and who they're talking about is going to be good? And then how will that translate to the field? Thursday night, we've got the Hall of Fame game. It means preseason's officially here. We're going to have a preseason game in not too long. We will talk all about that stuff as we get closer to it. But right now it's camp stuff. But it's also about all the people here. I mentioned Locked On Law in the house. Todd here as well. Uptown Dre, Doug, Franchise Talk, Big E, all here early on. JG as well. Code Talker, we appreciate you all going to be here for this chat. RFK Stadium update. Big E, nothing better I wanted on my B day than to hear Ref the District live. Let's go. Hey, Big E, happy birthday. I'm just glad it's this kind of message and not the one we had before. Trev knows and viewers know.
Yeah,
that one's,
that cousin is no longer
that's gone. That's gone. But Big E, happy birthday. Let us know how old you're turning. We can't sing a happy birthday. That'd get us copyright struck. But a mighty happy Commander birthday to you. Yeah, and then hail for Trey coming from Central Florida. Trev, what do you know about the stadium update? Do you know anything that's been going on this week?
A little bit. I think it's like moving in the right direction, right? We got approved for the RFK site. Is that what I'm?
So it's kind of getting there, right? So like last week, there was some movement on the approval stuff. DC Mayor Bowser was sitting there talking about how this is the right step forward. It's a BFD, a big effing deal is what she is how she's describing it for it. She is very pro, but they still have one more vote that's happening Friday. And in the lead up to that, starting yesterday, that was Tuesday, for those who might be catching this on audio or later, not during the live, on Tuesday, they had 500 people signed up to give testimony on whether or not they were for the deal or against the deal. What do you think the majority were for? What do you think? Which side were they on?
Probably against it.
Against it? Why do you think they would be against it?
Because politics. I guess to bring it back to RFK, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was probably, Maybe because it was one of the same fans who want the Redskins logo back and the name back. They're like, don't let them come back to RFK. If we can't have the name change, why should they be able to play where the name was founded, pretty much? So that's why I think those 500 came from. Because if you wanted it, yeah, I guess it'd be cool to get your name out there and voice it. But like, there's other ways to do that rather than sign up for that, whatever they signed up for. So I think the majority of that was for like, nah, don't bring that mess here.
Is actually in favor. They actually won. Most people said that they want the stadium there. They're long-term fans of the team. It feels like it'd be home. Yeah. And the team's been sweetening the pot lately. They've been trying to get there. We've talked about this before, but there's like separate districts that are going to be in this particular area. There's a plaza district, which is going to be like entertainment, housing, hotels, retail, restaurants, right? Then there's the stadium, which the stadium, I didn't know this. It's actually the stadium district's only 10% of the land.
Oh,
that was something that being measured out that way was news to me, because that doesn't seem like a lot. But yeah, so it comes out to be about 10% of the land. You got the riverfront, which is community, going to be pricey. You got the Kingman Park District, housing and recreation community, probably very pricey. Recreation, so they've got the fields at RFK. If you've ever been that one, they want to continue that. And then there's the Anacostia Commons, which is nature preserve, essentially, is what they're going to do. There's going to have like some like almost like a boardwalk and some paths, nature paths and stuff, but it's 30 acres, riverfront, not meant for development, meant to be a little bit more naturey there. 30%. And this is where I could see some DC people not being happy with. Only 30% of the site are meant to be affordable housing. So that's a little bit low on the low end, because the whole thing was that they were going to get this land back. The DC area, right, was going to get this land back, and then they were going to build affordable houses. Only 30% of the homes that are going to be developed are going to be considered affordable, which I think is on the low end. But it seems, again, to be going in the positive direction. Right. Wednesday, the team and Mayor Bowser got together. They got their testimony in, and the team pushed forward even more goodies here. So already the team is going to be fitting the majority of the bill, right? It's going to be a $3 billion stadium, and $2 billion of that is coming from the team. Well, now the team is also putting in new commitments. They sent this over to the council members. They're trying to get this deal done. Again, the vote comes in on Friday. Now the Commanders are also saying that they're going to invest $10 million into local business subsidies for Ward 7, where the campus is going to be located. And then over a 10-year period, at least $500,000 with community development organizations. So they're trying to do that. And for the Parker people, the people who are wanting to do parking, the parking plan that they're going to develop is not going to preclude the construction of a new metro rail station, meaning that they're open. They want to keep it open so another metro stop is available, right? You got the Armory, which is going to be right there. But I think with how the new site is being built, it might, the stadium, I think, is still in that same location. So you got the Armory, but now if you get one that's on like the other side of the parks, right? The recreation district. Now you have two areas. So people coming from the north side can get there maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how it'd look, but I'm excited for the opportunity that Metro's a legit chance, right? Like for you coming up from BFE, Virginia, being able to stop in Virginia, take like the Silver Line up rather than having to deal with all that traffic, probably a good thing.
That's a really good thing. I like that. Okay, Josh. You got the money.
They got a lot of money. They got a lot of money with them. I'm glad that they're trying to front most of it. I would love, personally, as a taxpayer and somebody who doesn't like, subsidizing billionaires, I would prefer that they paid for all of it.
Yeah.
I understand, unfortunately, that's not the way things get done. And so we are going to be the DC area is going to be the one who's doing that. Trey actually is asking about how many jobs. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I will say somebody who testified on Tuesday was testifying in opposition of the bill. And they did lean into one of the reasons why I don't like taxpayer money go into this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they showed time and time again how many stadiums promised new jobs, new tax revenue, new all this other stuff, and never actually met the expectations for the areas that they were built. So I don't exactly have how many jobs on hand, but that is one of the things that they want to do with this is to get it to a point where it seems beneficial for DC to build this one. And JG wants me to define affordable.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, JG. I don't think affordable is Nathan affordable. I don't think it's Trev affordable. I don't know your pocketbook, JG, but it might be DC affordable. Yeah. And I know that there's parts of DC that do have some affordable housing, and it's not all the expensive row homes that you see as you're headed to like the National Mall. But I would say that it's probably closer to that than it is going to be, the actual DC affordable houses. One of the reference points for this, for the record, was how it is going to be 6 times the scale of the Wharf. So when I'm saying affordable housing, think the Wharf area and all the development they did there is how, like, that's still a pricey area. Affordable housing is like an apartment that maybe only cost you a cool $6,000 a month or something like that. I don't know. It's like, it's going to be pricey. The area gets stupid expensive. So,
holy
cow. I'm throwing numbers out there. I could be wrong, but I mean, when you're talking about, houses in that area going for $1.5 million and it's a dilapidated building with no parking spot, I wouldn't be surprised. Mike H, someone said parking was going to be $100 per game for season ticket holders. So that's $1,200 a year per parking. If that's new stadium stuff, I will say the good news is they are looking at having parking spots available for tailgating, renting spots for that purpose and everything. So there's going to be something there. As far as the season ticket holders, expect those prices to keep going up and up and up, because as the team gets better and better, it's not going to get cheaper. Small fish 16, just get it done, or the land will just sit there. That's inaccurate. I will say that. This will delay a development project for it.
Yeah.
But if they shoot down the RFK deal, it's probably going to be, we're probably not going to find out anything until next year about what they're going to plan to do with it. But they have the city of DC, the district has a 99-year lease on that property. They want to get a deal done. It seems like the deal wants to get done with the team, but if it doesn't get done with the team, they've got to wait for another developer to come in and pitch their idea. So it's not going to sit there, but it will be a while away before they do something with it. So,
right.
But now, Trev, that's a deal that's going to happen. We don't know whether or not Terry McLaurin's deal is going to happen. We do know there's been a couple of good-looking wide receivers at camp, and I would love to talk about those. So why don't we get to that here in the game? Welcome to the game here on Ref the District, episode 236. It is full camp time. We've got fans returning. Unfortunately, none of the team here was able to get out there. We were hoping Sunday, things happened. We were hoping Tuesday, things happened. I'm all the way in Oklahoma, so it was never going to happen. I've been dealing with a kid with foot mouth. I've been migrating my own health issues. So it's just been lots going on. But hey, It's all right. We've got plenty to report about anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is good, Trev. I mean,
yeah, it is.
What have you heard coming from camp so far?
Positivity, commitment, teamwork, camaraderie, good work ethic. Jaden Daniels is throwing dimes. The defense is being a defense. I mean, it just seems like this team as a team. Like, and it's kind of funny to say that because I know this happens at least 25 other places out of the 32 teams in the NFL. But when you're used to not winning for 20 plus, I mean, look at the Browns, bro. I feel sorry for the Browns. I mean, they made the playoffs a couple years ago, but like when you lose for more than 15 years, 20 years in a row, like that takes a toll. And your standard is, can we win 6 games? Can we at least have a good game at 1 o'clock to so we can deserve to be on TV? That's what you're used to. So when you hear nothing but positivity come out of camp after the season we had last year, it's like, oh, this is what winning feels like. This is what good culture, locker room feels like. This is what like being a positive fan, something to cheer for feels like. It feels like we're an NFL team. We belong in the NFL. We're not the laughing stock anymore right now. People they're on watch now. And that's because of the top down.
Yeah. I will say this is, as you kind of mentioned, this is the season of positivity. You're not going to hear most teams are going into this season. All fan bases get the same burgundy and gold glasses that we do with their team, right? They start to see all these good signs and like, hey, this is going to be the year we turn it around. This feels different though because of a guy named Jaden Daniels, who, by the way, is the reason why Von Miller signed here. Which is a big deal. Like you have people who want to come here, they want to play, they see that this is a team on the rise. You just hope that it translates there to the field. Right. And we'll get to know more about this team as they start doing the joint practices and also these preseason games. So right now, though, we're going to talk about this year's rookies here in a moment, but I want to talk about the two that are on screen for those watching the show right now, which is Jaden Daniels and Mikey Sandristil.
Yeah.
Who both have looked absolutely lights out phenomenal during camp. How big is it for Washington to have these two look like absolute studs coming from last year's draft?
Because of where you picked them in the draft and what you did to all the preparation and study that you put into that for these two guys. I mean, Jaden Daniels is a no-brainer, but they did their due diligence on that. Made us sit here on the edge of our seats a little bit. Like, is Jaden the guy for real? Like, why are everybody going to play top golf? Remember that? But anyway, but then you go and get Mikey Sandristil, who Quinn's been talking about since day one. He's just a guy. He's a football guy. The pedigree is there, and this is what you want to see because of where you draft him in the draft. I mean, Jaden was number 2 overall. Sandristil was what, second round? Was he second round pick? Yeah, yep. Second round. So like
one of the picks there in the second round.
These two guys are supposed to be contributing right now, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah,
because we've been down the road where we've had guys in this position. And after year 1, where they at though?
Yeah. I mean, as much as I want to like Johnny Newton and keep pushing that he's going to have a great year, you haven't heard much about him.
He cut his hair.
Yeah. Ben Sinnott has gotten some love. He's gotten some love, but he's still behind on the depth chart. So you're not sure where he's going to end up. But like these two, out of the first 4 picks from last year, you're getting good things. You're hearing good things about John Baptiste. On the edge. He's looking pretty good. And McGee, you're hearing good things in camp right now. And how he's looking more and more ready to take over for Bobby Wagner. Great. I mean, this is Adam Peters.
That's what you want to hear.
It looks like we've got 4 starters out of that draft, which is great.
It's what you want.
Okay. Big E, happy birthday, 31st birthday, by the way, is what Big E said. Says, I told y'all, boys, Owens is the next man up ever since last year. He's going to be a long-term safety. He gets better the more time he gets to play. This is not a draftee from last year, Trev, but it is an undrafted free agent from last year. We're hearing a lot about him. He is getting tested early and often. He played with the ones.
Yep.
He's played with the twos. He's played with the threes. They are really trying to get him in and out there. It seems very much has the athletic ability to play safety. Right now, there's some questions about his decision-making, but that's what camp's for. And he very much looks like he is going to be a player in this team. Now, the team did sign. Last week, we were talking about who was the odd man out in the safety room. We said Percy Butler.
And
Percy
that man
Butler said, watch this. Let me sign this $1 million contract here.
He did.
And show those boys over at Ref the District. They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah.
Nope. Yeah. I'm just around back.
But he signed a contract. So I'm not sure how that safety room plays out. Quan Martin and Will Harris 100% got a spot. Reeves also signed an extension. He's the special teams guy. You got Tyler Owens. You got Percy Butler, who just signed. Do they keep 5? Do they keep 6? I don't know where they're going with this because they got a lot of guys who can kind of fit in there. But yeah, Tyler Owens looking pretty good as well.
Did you see the quote that I forgot who he said it or where it was quoted, but apparently it was in the New York Times, I think it was. He said, I don't give a F who I'm lined up against, whether it's Terrell Owens, no relation there, or Devo Samuel or Terry McLaurin. That's a dog. That's that dog mentality, that dog-ass competitor mentality that Coach Quinn's talking about. Yeah. And you like to hear that, especially from undrafted guys. Like, I think he makes a spot. That's a whole other conversation of the show, but I think he's got a spot in the roster. I really do.
He is looking the part this early in camp, and that's all you can ask of him. Now let's shift to this year. There's a couple guys this year who are looking good, but I'm going to end on the positive note because we did have Todd asking about Josh Connolly. How has he been doing in camp? This is your first pick, your first round pick. There's been some good, there's been some bad. Mostly leaning towards the, hey, he's a young kid. Let him develop. It's okay if he's not, he switched sides. There's a lot of kind of, I don't want to call them excuses, Trev.
No.
But there's a lot of,
variables.
There's a lot of pushback on the negativity that's coming out on Connolly right now. I am still a big Connolly guy. So I do think he's going to turn around and he's going to be a starting right tackle for us. One of the things is they just put on pads, and until you actually get to the games, the lines are kind of wonky. So that being said, he is right now the only one I've heard anything remotely like questionable about. Right. Because Trey Amos even has John Keim talking about how he is a starting cornerback in the NFL. Looks like a starting cornerback in the NFL. You got Jalen Lane, who right now is your starting punt returner. So he's got a spot on the roster for that. And then he's looking like the guy could actually be a good wide receiver. So
I know, I'm with you.
I'm just saying. So that's your kind of the draft picks here. Even Medrano is getting into some of the action and how he's got that speed at linebacker. Sam Hartman apparently threw it right at him, but I mean, he did get a pick. You got to catch the ball, right? It's not just enough that it was thrown at you. You got to catch it. So he did a good job.
And then Bill is just taking the camp by storm.
Probably the top name being mentioned right now. I know a lot of people are big on Lane. Roger here being one. Lane is the one. Pops the top off any defense. The underneath routes from the bunch formations is going to be wide open. Lots of love for Jalen Lane to go with that, Roger. But I would say out of all of the rookies who are getting the most love, Bill is just getting a lot. Coach Quinn talked about him today, asked for one word, and he said that he was a one cut guy, which is hyphenated, so it still is one word. But when he got to expand on it, he talks about how the decision making that Krosky Merritt has is he puts his foot in the ground and he's going. It's a different feeling. And this is the thing that I talked about with Chris Rodriguez last year, because Chris Rodriguez is very similar, where he's a kind of a one cut guy. He's going forward. He doesn't dance. Krosky Merritt is as very athletic dude. His relative athletic score is pretty darn good, especially for a 7th round rookie. And if you marry that with the one cut play style, as long as he can read the scheme, right? The holes, if he can make those reads, he's going to be a dangerous runner. I've said that from the beginning. I'm very excited for it because I don't like my running backs dancing around in the pocket. I understand patient runners. Saquon Barkley is a patient running style. Le'Veon Bell was another successful.
He was a master of it. He was good.
Yeah, where it's just like you wait for your blocks and everything. I understand and I appreciate those running backs, but me personally, I love the one cut guys.
Yeah, Alfred Morris,
Clinton Portis was a one cut
Adrian
guy.
Peterson
was just a truck. But yeah, one kind of runner there. He's not. He knows where the blocks are going to be, and he just hits that hole and he's gone. And Krosky Merritt is somebody who I think we talked about it when it comes in relationship with B-Rob, and there's a mountain to get over there.
Yeah.
If JCM can at least crack the roster, right? Don't go to the practice squad.
Right.
See the game day, even if just get a couple touches a game. All it's going to take is a couple games of 5 touches for 25 yards, and he's going to start seeing more playing time.
Exactly. Let him break one for 20 yards. It's over. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I agree.
It'll be pretty good there. So let me know in the chat. I know if you've probably already put a couple of those, but I missed them in the conversation. Let me know who it is that you were excited about from camp. We talked about last year's, now the sophomores, right? We talked about the sophomores. We talked about the rookies. Let's talk about some of the vets. Noah Brown is healthy. Apparently the scare we got, no big deal. Michael Gallup, who I said was going to get cut, apparently impressing at camp as well.
He's going to make fun. KJ Osborne.
It's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting one. Yeah.
Marshawn Lattimore looking fluid out there, looking healthy. That's huge. Oh, it's huge. You know who hasn't been getting a lot of notoriety, and I kind of low-key forgot about? Noah Iggy.
Yeah.
I really haven't. But the reason why I say you keep hearing positivity is because, in the recent years, the beat reporters try to keep it as positive as possible. But when they had some blunders, they told you about it, like, oh, that wasn't supposed to do that. Or like, oh, that would definitely been a sack, but here's that. But this year, you really don't hear that. You hear, oh, another dime, or he hit the hole fast, or, it was a sack, but he just threw the bomb anyway. It was a hell of a catch. That Jalen Lane catch over 2 defenders. One foot was out still, but like, camp, it's just a really good feeling. I know it's early. We had 1 day at pads, but it feels like the commitment is there outside of contract issues. The commitment is there. Tunzel just got here, and he's already leaving comments on his teammates, IGs, and it's just like the brotherhood is already gelled. The foundation's already set. We just gotta go. So
I wanted to highlight some of the players that are people mentioning, and also the fact that Locked On Law and JG agree on something. So Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. You agreed on something. That's awesome. Trey Amos is going to be the guy, going to be the one. Amos holds the most promise. That's coming from Locked on Law and JG there. The James Jones, also agreeing that Trey Amos is a dog. This guy, I was excited to find him in the second. I was torn between him and the guy out of Eastern Carolina, Revel. But Revel had that injury. It turns out Trey Amos's slide was similarly based on the fact that there was some question on health. But right now, it's looking like we have a rangy, like lengthy cornerback who's going to be able to play man, which is exactly what this team wants and needs. If Lattimore can return to form on that one side, like I said, Mikey Sanders still is. Every time I see a video of him and people talking about him, this guy, you're just wondering, how did we luck into this guy should probably be playing on the outside for somebody, and he's going to be playing on the inside for us. And
it looks like he's trying to get a roster spot the way he's balling right now.
Oh yeah, the way he's playing, like he's fighting for money. He's fighting for rent.
For real though.
Rent in that what is it, the Kingman Park district.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to pay for the house up there in the Kingman Park district just for the new anyways. Krosky Merritt is Chris's pick. Again, a lot of love for him, and Chris going as far as saying he's going to lead the running backs this year.
This coaching staff, they don't play. You're not performing, they're going to put somebody in who is. So, B-Rob, your spot is safe right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Trey had asked earlier, where are we going to see who gets the Brennan Award? The Brennan Mason Award is what Hogs Haven calls it. It's the district diamond here on Ref the District. And unless they bench him so that they can keep him for the regular season, I got to say Krosky Merritt's probably going to be him or Ja'Cory Brooks are probably the front runners this early on before preseason games get played, because those guys are you expect them to see a lot of snaps, and they're going to do something where the team's going to be like, the fans are going to be like, this guy has to play. This is the Cam Sims thing. Ja'Cory Brooks reminds me a lot of that. Whereas like people are going to be like, this guy can play. He's a stud. Why isn't he getting more snaps? And then Krosky Merritt, the moment you see B-Rob get stuffed on a 3rd and 1, you're going to have people call, where's Bill?
Exactly.
Why isn't Bill?
Put Bill in there.
So the question now is, does this positivity, this feel good, the stuff that we're seeing, which has been in shorts and a t-shirt and just recently pads, but does it translate to the field of play? You're shaking your head. Yes. Why? Though?
Yes. Right. Why? It's been proven already for 1 year. And it's just a different sense in camp. Like when you hear people do their little post-practice interviews, they all kind of sound redundant because it's all true. It's not the basic, we're here at camp, and like you can really sense it. And these guys are really buying into this system and this scheme and this brotherhood, this culture in this locker room. Like you got players hanging out with other players' kids after practice. Like it's just more than football in this locker room, and you can feel it. Like Debo is already like locked in with the crew. Tunzel, like newcomers who've been here for less than 5 months. Von Miller been here 2 weeks, and it feels like he's been here a year already. It's just they're going to take everything they do in practice, the building blocks, all the meticulous drudgery stuff, and it is going to translate. It did last year with completely unknown. We had literally no idea. We were going into camp blind. We were going into preseason blind. We were going into Coach Quinn and Kingsbury blind. Josh, everybody we were going to last season blind. And then since we kept everybody, didn't really lose anybody that made a huge difference. It's the same thing. There's no way that this fails. And I was thinking about that earlier when I read the question. The only way this could fail is if Dan Quinn completely does a 360 and he's a completely different person. That's the only way I can see this failing. Like if he's completely different than what he said last year, AP is different, Cliff. If they're 360 different this year, then it could regress. But I don't see that happening, bro. I don't.
I think that it would take
crazy work.
It would take something unfortunate happening. We'll put it that way.
Right.
But as JG had posted on our post here, smiles and unrealistic expectations are a hallmark of training camp, and that rings true, right? It's the season of positivity, and I'm getting hyped, and I think it's some PTSD from, and I don't like to particularly use that term, especially as a veteran.
Yeah.
But there is there's some cautiousness to this as a Washington football fan, where it's just like, we've gone into seasons with hype before and we've gotten burned. Like, part of me expects, 17-0 until we find out otherwise. And then part of me expects a 6-10 season where the wheels fall off and we're firing head coaches and doing all this other stuff. And I know that's trauma. It's trauma. It's trauma.
It is.
But there is something different. And I know a lot of that's Jaden Daniels and his ability, who he still hasn't shown on the NFL top 100. And Bo Nix got 64. So my man, Jaden Daniels, better be top 10 if you give that kid 64. But I like the head coach. I like Joe Witt Jr. as the defensive coordinator. I believe in Cliff Kingsbury to continue this offense rolling under Jaden Daniels. We're the oldest team in the league. And that doesn't bother me because that means we have the experience, right? You have Zach Ertz, who's reliable. You have Bobby Wagner, who's cerebral. And then you add in kids like Mikey Sanristill, Trey Amos. You get Frankie Louvu flying around. I just
the name alone, Marshawn Lattimore. Just the
Marshawn
name.
Lattimore. If this defensive line, if they can just figure it out, I do think it will translate to the field. But I will say this: the stuff we've seen in camp right now should mean very little. Okay?
Right.
What I am looking forward to is the joint practices. I think we'll find out more there. I think we're going to learn a little bit more about the team. I wish those were viewable. I wish we can get all the stuff happening. But that's where we're going to learn about the team. Scooby, thanks for joining us tonight. We know late night for you across the pond. Scooby saying one taste of success that had lots of elements of riding our luck. And it seems patience has gone and unrealistic demands are here. And it's true. And that's part reason why I'm nervous, Scooby, because all this positivity right now has people feeling we're going to make the championship game again. It's hard. It is hard to win in the NFL. It is hard to win for.
Yeah, we had to use a Hail Mary to beat the Bears. I mean,
right? Wait, imagine
that was harder.
Imagine losing that game to the Bears.
Oh, man.
And the season's going in different directions. The Bears end up performing well, and Washington performs like the Bears did. The Bears lost like 9 in a row.
Yeah, we
horrendous. It was horrendous. But
Locked One is asking, will New England film joint practice? Maybe. I know the Jets did last year, so maybe.
They can do whatever they want because it's apparently the team very much just tried, like during the joint practice, kept things as vanilla as possible because they were like, we're just trying to go through the motions. This is like an extra workout for us, but it's got a level of competitiveness that is different. But this is an exciting time for the team. I'm looking forward to more. I wish it was all positive. Of course, we're hearing things about a rookie. Of course, we're, seeing some chatter, about some stuff. And then there's no Terry McLaurin. So
Oh, that guy.
he did show up to camp. He did show up to camp. And we are going to talk about him in our Cool Dance. Stay with us. Moving things along rather quickly here on tonight's episode of we appreciate everybody who's jumping in with us, and we know that there's going to be a few who are going to jump out of this conversation. You're tired of the Terry McLaurin talk. I understand, and we are going to try to touch on new ground here. Now, I mentioned that I had a new segment, and it was centered around Terry McLaurin. Wide receivers over 30 was kind of a big thing, a part of it, but I talked about a few different things. So, wide receivers over 30, Trev, is one of the biggest narratives and one of the biggest reasons why people are saying Adam Peters is right not to sign Terry McLaurin to a long-term deal. By the way, long-term deals, 3 years extension, meaning we'll have Terry McLaurin for 4 more years. So he's turning 30 this year. So we'll have him up to 34. That last year probably easily to kind of cut or do something. The narrative that wide receivers tank at 30, in my opinion, is overblown. And I gave a few examples, which people countered with their own examples, to include some of our very own players, and like Santana Moss, for example. Even Art Monk started to kind of see that decline after the age of 30. My thing is, when it comes to that, one, there's enough counter examples where there are wide receivers who had better, better twilight years than they did their early prime years. One of the things that I would say is it centers around, and my hope that Terry McLaurin even just continues to provide the way that he's doing, which, as I've shown before, is top 10 in quite a bit of metrics since he's joined the league, is that he's got Jaden Daniels now.
Right.
And then he's got a better quarterback in a scheme that I think that I would not be surprised to see Terry McLaurin. And by the way, I did see this in a lot of my research. Even the wide receivers who started falling off after the age of 30, they usually get one good year in at 30 when they sign the deal. So you sign him to an extension and you might see like a 1,400 yard season from Terry McLaurin. I'm just saying it's not out of the realm of possibility. But the Terry McLaurin, all he has to do is keep doing 1,000 yards and he'd be worth the contract that they're going to spend. That's his contract, by the way, the $33 million that he is reportedly looking for. You're not a big Terry McLaurin fan.
Right.
You don't think he's worth a new contract at all?
Oh, yeah, he is. For sure. Just not what he's asking. He's definitely gets a contract. That man's been playing with 30,000 quarterbacks and put 1,000 yards every year. He should definitely get some kind of extension for sure, but not what he's asking.
So JG saying Rico Sports, by the way, good channel. Check him out. You probably already have because he's got more subscriptions than us. But do us a favor, hit that like button and send some people over from his channel over to us as well. But Rico is suggesting a lot of the blame is on the agent. JG saying not really buying that. Who do you think the blame is on right now that a deal hasn't been done?
He could be part of it. Rio Robinson, Ramming with Rio, tweeted a picture of Terry's agent client list a day ago. And a lot of players that Terry's agent represents, their AAV, which I guess like the annual yearly salary, whatever that AAV stands for, is pretty low, I would suggest. Terry is his highest on this graphic I'm looking at And the next is $7 million below what Terry gets paid, and that's Tershawn Wharton from the Carolina Panthers. He also represents guys like Jeremy Chin, Reed Blankenship, Shaquille Griffin, Patrick Card, DeAndre Carter, former Washington player too. Yeah, and all those guys I just mentioned, they're all single-digit $1 million a year AAVs. Tershawn's 15 and Terry McLaurin's 22. I'm not blaming it all on the agent, but he's probably playing a little bit in it. Terry's probably, this is just me spitballing. I literally have no idea. Terry could be saying, I deserve 33, and the agent's like, yeah, but I can't get you 33. I can get you like 27, 28. And Terry's like, I hear that, but like, I deserve at least 31, 32 even. And the agent's like, I hear you. I agree, but they're not budging past 30. So it's both. The agent is definitely playing a part. I'm not blaming it all on him, but he's definitely playing a part in this negotiation.
I don't think anyone's blameless in this, right? JG pointing out that AP probably let too much time pass without some communication. You got Terry McLaurin, who holds a press conference, who vocally had, shown his frustration. So maybe the demands are too much. Maybe the agent is playing a part into it. Adam Peters is playing hardball. The deal is going to get done. And we've said that here on Ref the District forever. We've held that core tenet the entire time. My man Stoner's bald right now because he had to shave his head because Terry McLaurin did not show up to camp that first day. I still need to get that picture from him on that one too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But I would say that I would put the pressure on Adam Peters as far as a deal here. And JG again asking, has the honeymoon stage taken a hit now with the Terry McLaurin contract? For JG, it has. Do you trust Adam Peters more or less now with how he's handling the Terry McLaurin deal?
Like it goes back to what I said earlier. If this is how real NFL GMs operate, then yeah, I have all my faith in AP right now. I mean, we've been used to head coaches being GMs and then Bruce Allen types, and they're just saying, yeah, sign it for whatever. We don't care. Like whatever. We're underpaying. We're overpaying. We don't care. They're just spending money. This front office is like, hold on, we got the money to do it, but like, do we have the money to do it? Let's just. I'm not ready to throw the towel in AP yet.
No. If anything, I actually think as much as I love Terry McLaurin, I might trust Adam Peters more. He is not allowing the emotions to overtake the situation. It'd be so easy to sign the guy that everybody loves. And outside the field, this is an important player. But when your job it hinges on winning football games, you got to throw all that love stuff out the window, baby. This is business.
Thank you.
And in that regard, I love that he's taking that stance.
They didn't draft him.
Yeah. Do I want him to get to a good deal? Yes, because Terry McLaurin caught 70% of his passes. Yeah. Terry McLaurin is one of a few people who's done that, plus the 13 touchdowns and all this other stuff. He's like one of 6 people in the last 30 years. I know people, Locked on Law, they like to point out that he's only, barely reaches 1,000 yards. And last year, Locked on Law points out last year, they force-fed him that ball in the Dallas game to make sure he got to 1,000. Okay? Mike Evans was the same.
Yeah.
Right? They force-fed him the ball, and I don't hear anybody really complaining about Mike Evans.
Not at all. I love Mike Evans.
And so I trust Adam Peters. I want Terry McLaurin signed. And Scooby here asking, put in the context of what he's asking and how much you would be happy to pay. Reports are, Trev, that he is asking for DK Metcalf type money, who signed for $33 million a year. Okay. Now, a lot of people will point out just because the Steelers might have overpaid for DK Metcalf, you don't have to do that for Terry McLaurin. But he is asking for 33. How much do you think he is willing? Or how much are you willing to pay?
I'm not going past 30 million. I'm not doing
30 million is your cap.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, 30 million is not bad. 30 million still puts him, I think, is probably where it actually gets done. Okay. 30 million would still put him a little bit behind St. Brown with Brandon Ayuk, with Tyreek Hill, above T. Higgins.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
And above Cortland Sutton.
Who just got paid.
Who just got paid. Uptown Dre brought this one up in the beginning. We appreciate you joining us here, Dre. Yo, my brother, Terry needs to sign for that 25, 28 million or else. The market is set, Slim. Cortland Sutton. Full hard disagree.
Oh!
And Trev, you were saying you agree with this take that he needs to be paid Sutton. I think one of the biggest things that people point out is they've got similar stats. Bogus. Okay. Sutton in the one extra year, the 7 years he's been in the league. What's that?
Okay. I was going to say how long he's been in the league.
Yeah, 7 years. So one more year than Terry McLaurin. He has 5,340 yards. Terry McLaurin has 6,379. Again, with 1 year less. With 1 year less.
Okay.
Touchdowns, 38 touchdowns for Terry McLaurin in 6 years, 32 touchdowns in 7 years for Sutton.
Okay.
There's nowhere in here. And plus, by the way, Sutton also has an injury. There's nowhere in here where I'm looking at these stats from Cortland Sutton and I'm saying, oh, yeah, this is a guy who's comparable to Terry McLaurin. He has 2 1,000-yard seasons in 7 years. Terry McLaurin only failed to get to 1,000 and just under 100 yards missed it his rookie year. Outside of that, he is one of the few players to have 5 consecutive years of 1,000 yards to open up his career. Okay. Terry McLaurin might not be flashy, right? He doesn't have, and I said this before, if the man had a 1,400-yard season under his belt, I would even go as far as to say a 1,300-yard season underneath his belt. This would be an easy sign. The question mark is this guy who just gets 1,000 yards, I say that with quotations, enough to pay top 10 wide receiver money? And I think he is. By the way, I'm going to go back to the Sutton thing. Catch rate, 63% of the passes Terry McLaurin is catching. Okay. Sutton, 58. So 5% of your passes are being caught more by Terry McLaurin. Yards per game, 54 for Sutton. Terry McLaurin, 64. Like this is 65.8, almost 66% or 66 yards per game. They are not the same player. Not at all when it comes to that. So that's why I don't think that deal is comparable. I do think Terry McLaurin's asking for 33. I think the team is going to play hardball, and I think they're going to lock him in, and I'd be okay with $31 million a year. That is where I'm going with. Now, Trev, I mentioned numbers game a couple of different times. If you missed it, you missed my new nasty, okay, which is Nathan's absurd stat, y'all. Okay. And so you're going to get it. I'm going to sneak peek to that numbers video. You're going to want to watch the full video, but I did want to show this particular stat here, which is, like I said, it's called nasty. It's my thing for the numbers game. And it's the dollars per yard. So, this is what the teams paid for, right? So Brandon Ayuk got injured. He signed a new $30 million contract. So it means for the 374 yards that he got in 2024, the 49ers paid $80,000 per yard for that. Okay. But he got injured.
Right.
He got injured. You see Stephon Diggs, a wide receiver over 30 that people point to, right? That is on the decline. You're paying $42,000 per yard, right? So I'm going to go down this list as a little bit slow for here, right? AJ Brown, $32 million a year, $29,000, right? Devontae Smith right there with him with the 30. Tyreek Hill, another one, by the way, over 30, just missed the 1,000 yards for Tyreek Hill here. DK Metcalf, the $33 million man, less than 1,000 yards, which meant $33,000 per.
Look at 1,000 this year.
He might. Who knows what's going to go on? Aaron Rodgers could probably trip and fall carrying out the
Stop
flag.
it. Stop it.
As you get down here, Devontae Adams, another 30-year-old wide receiver, by the way, 854. But his deal's $22 million for this next year. Nico Collins, a surprise one here at the top, a value pick at 23,000. And let me take off the thing here so people can more clearly see here. Because Amon St. Brown, 1,200 yards last year, but because you're paying him $30 million, is $23,000 per yard. So this is where it started getting interesting to me because I didn't know how the stat was going to go. I picked the idea and I'm going with it, regardless of where Terry McLaurin ended up on this one. Jamar Chase, 1,700 yards, but because you're paying him $40 million, that still comes out to $23,000 per yard that they are paying out there in Cincinnati. Okay. Justin Jefferson, 1,500 yards, a little bit more of a deal for Minnesota on that one, 22,000. Calvin Ridley, another over 30 wide receiver, 10,000 or 1,017 yards there, 23 million, getting paid, getting cheap, 22,000. And then Terry McLaurin is actually at the top of this list. Look at that. Washington's paying $20,000 per yard that Terry McLaurin got in 2024. Now I know that this isn't the end all be all. Okay. But this was kind of my kind of look here at how is he compared to the top 20. This is the top 20 money makers for 2025. All right. I know I said 2024 on here, but it's 2025. All right. He is by far the cheapest of them by $2,000. So this is his contract right now. $22 million is what he's going to get. If we were to raise this, because this is an equation here on Google Sheets, if we were to change this, you said 30 million, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay. 27. All right. That still puts him right below, what is that? DJ Moore, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Pittman. He's still a better rate. He's still a better rate than them. I'm saying that he's still cheaper at $31 million. 30. I said I think they're going to come in at 31 million. Okay, that's 28 to 225. Still keeps underneath those guys right there. Michael Pittman, CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore. If he gets the DK Metcalf type money. Make sure I get that right. This is where he does start to kind of get to the point where maybe it's looked at as an overpay because now Terry McLaurin, Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, DK Metcalf are all you're still paying less for them per yardage, per production, right? For the production, you're paying less than those guys, but you are paying more than you'd get from the likes of Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. So it's a bit wonky. Trey Huff asking for 33.3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. At 30, he's still right in that same spot there for 33. Okay. All I'm saying is this right here tells me this is what, if I were the agent, this is what I'm bringing to there. I'm saying this guy has been consistent. You finally got a QB. My guy has shown no signs of slowing down.
Right.
And if he continues to just give you 1,000 yards, even at this dollar amount, he is worth what the top players are getting. That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't go into that one. I did not go into that one thinking that Terry McLaurin was going to be the top. All I saw was that graphic that talked about how he should be wanting to get paid because all these wide receivers did less than him. So I was like, oh, this is an interesting idea. If you were paying for the production, if you wrote a contract that said, I will get X amount of dollars for the yardage that I was given. Okay. He is by far one of the cheapest ones you have in the top 20. Like the best deals, by the way, and I will say this, I did settle on the top 20 money makers for 2025 because originally I was going to do like the top yardage getters. Okay. The reason why that one isn't the best to do is because you have guys on rookie deals. Guys like Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors crush this stat. Okay. If you get a stud wide receiver and out of the draft, Jalen Lane gives you 1,000 yards receiving this year, which some people are saying that he might. Right? If he gets you 1,000 yards receiving, you made bank because it costs money to have 1,000 yard receiving. So that is all I'm saying. Ade Smith, Sutton's deal. Clearly comparable, but Terry is better. So 2 to 3 million per year better. Nothing more. That I think puts him in the ballpark, right? You said 30. I said about 31 is where I think that it's going to end up trying to get there. I think that's fair because, like I said, Sutton is not the player Terry McLaurin is. Okay, Terry McLaurin going to be an NFL top 100 player. Usually that also happens, by the way, because players. I know this. I don't know this. I suspect this. When you have a contract coming up, all your buddies put your name on there because NFL top 100 is money. Okay. So they put your name on there. Brandon Sheriff is a great example of a guy who got paid. He was like 95 that year that he got his contract. Okay. So that, to me, it seems like it's a smart thing. It's a smart thing.
It is.
Commander Lauren, we appreciate you jumping in here and joining us tonight. Commander Lauren says there's not a guarantee as he gets older he keeps up his current production or targets as younger, faster guys are added to the roster. 100%. I mean, this is a gamble. What you and by the way, I don't disagree that you don't pay him for his past production. You are paying him for future production, okay, and what he is capable of. I am arguing that this over 30 thing is overblown. Okay.
Yeah, I'm AJ number to number.
Keenan McCardell, Joey Gallup. These were a couple of guys who
Jerry Rice.
Donald Driver. Like I didn't want to pick. I didn't want to pick like the stars, right? Because you could go with Jerry Rice's and stuff like that. Terrell Owens. Nobody thinks that Terry McLaurin is that elite level wide receiver, or even like a Larry Fitzgerald, who was still productive after the age of 30. I mean, in year 30, his 32, he had 1,200 yards, 33, 1,000 yards, 34, 1,000 yards. So, like, I'm not saying that he's that level of player, right? Terry McLaurin is going to go into the Hall of Very Good.
Yep.
He's not going to sniff the Hall of Fame. I'm not disagreeing there. Okay.
No.
But he has been consistent, and I disagree here with Jersey. I appreciate you joining us, Jersey, but Terry wouldn't get 31 million anywhere else. I could only agree on that, on the fact that there's enough GMs who are going to play hardball. But I do believe he can get 30 million in this league. He is a much better player than what
Vegas would give it to him. Cleveland would give it to him. Who else? Seattle might give it to him. Like, they don't. He would get it somewhere else for sure, but he wouldn't get it somewhere else on a high caliber winning team like we are right now, like the Bills and the Chiefs and the Ravens. Probably not there. Maybe even the Bills. Who knows? But
Clifton saying, "Look at what Santana did." And I can bring up the numbers. I have looked at those numbers, by the way.
Oh yeah,
and he did. He dipped after his age 30. Okay, that also did coincide, though, Clifton, with one, terrible QB play, and two, a move to the slot for Santana Moss. So there's, and this is one of the guys actually that I wanted to look at, who I feel is very comparable to Terry McLaurin, T.Y. Hilton. Okay, now T.Y. Hilton was one of the guys who I looked at two different things here as well. The top 25 wide receivers under the age of 30, like who had the most yards. Okay, T.Y. Hilton actually made this list, which surprised me, but he had like 8,000 yards by the time he was 30. Crazy. Terry McLaurin only at 6,300 or whatever, right? Like only, even though he's one of the only players of ever to have 5 consecutive 1,000 yard seasons, right? Okay. But T.Y. Hilton was on that list. He was at the bottom, right next to Deshaun Jackson at the bottom of that one. He was a guy who I think was nice, but I mean, you're talking about a team that was spoiled with Marvin Harrison and then Reggie Wayne. Reggie Wayne, by the way, another
and
one. And Peyton Manning, who Reggie Wayne, another guy who came up after 30, had a lot of yards after 30. Part of that was, one, he's a really good wide receiver, and two, he had Peyton Manning, and then a little bit of Andrew Luck, and he no longer had Marvin Harrison, right? Like he was when he was younger, it was him and Marvin Harrison. That's to the point of Locked on Law and some of the others who have pointed out, when you have somebody taking, coverage, or not coverage, but targets, that means he might not be able to get those 1,400 yard season, might eat into it. But T.Y. Hilton was somebody I wanted to look at. And his example, he does tail off after the age of 30, but I wanted to look further into that one. And that one also coincides with a move. And that was going from Andrew Luck to Brissett, Jacoby Brissett. So there's not a great 1-for-1, and each player is different. But when you're looking at it and you know that this is a guy who is productive and will likely be productive this year for you again, I don't see a drop off at 31, right? And unless there's an injury, but that's with any player. I don't see the drop off at 32. Especially when, what are you talking about a drop off? Is a drop off going from 1,000 yards to 500 yards? Is it 1,000 yards to 900 yards? And by the time we're 4 years away from now, okay, this is going to be a cheap wide receiver deal.
He's not going to be
so. Yeah, again, I didn't go in the idea saying that I wanted Terry McLaurin to make all this money, but that's just kind of where it ended up with this stat. Okay. Jim Sleazy saying Terry McLaurin should care about guaranteed money, not the overall total.
That's probably what it is.
I do believe the guaranteed money is probably one of the bigger stickers to this one. But I do know that the overall total matters to these players. And because you'll even see them do crazy things like throw on Ross St. Brown, for instance, has $2,500 on his contract, his average for a year, just because he wanted to get over that particular number, right? And so they look at their competitors and they're like, I want more than that guy. And so that's one of the things that they do look at. TJ, Terry can definitely be Mike Evans of this team. Mike Evans, again, one of those guys, they force-fed balls, and they try to get him to 11 seasons in a row of 1,000 yards. Mike Evans, just absolutely consistent. Mike Evans, another wide receiver who's over the age of 30. by the way.
Yeah, but he's also over the height of 6 feet. So like,
he is 6'5". He is a bit different there.
There's no way Terry can do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Mike Evans, all 11 years in the league with 1,000 yards receiving. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive there. 31 years of age. By the way, one of the things I was looking at into this one, and by the way, Luis, I didn't say Terry is Mike Evans. I'm saying no. TJ pointed out that he could be our Mike Evans, and that he's just that consistent for us. One of the things I did look into that I found was interesting, and I probably should have maybe did an Excel spreadsheet for this too, because I found that it looked like the wide receivers who had better years after the age of 30 also came in the league later. Terry McLaurin's one of those. He came in the league turning 24, right? Like he's a guy who came in later into the league. And that was true of a lot of those wide receivers who kind of blossomed late. So I think that's another factor that goes into it. This isn't a guy who's played at the NFL level since he was 21, right? He's not going into season 10. And maybe that is what we need to look at. If I have time, I'll look up that and I'll make a post about it. We won't do a whole video about it, but I'll make a post about that, about wide receivers in which year in the NFL they started to see a dip, because I do think that plays a factor into it. Well, we're spinning our wheels here on the Terry McLaurin talk. We'll see how that all goes into it. We appreciate everybody jumping on with us. It's going to be a short one today. We appreciate the conversation. Next week, we'll have even more to talk to, as we're going to be getting even closer to preseason games.
We play next Friday or Saturday, right?
Yeah,
Friday.
It's coming up. We got the Hall of Fame game, which kicks things off. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So we'll have more and more information. Of course, we stream live every Wednesday here, 7:30 Eastern on YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate the likes of Small Fish, Todd, Gregory in the house as well. Locked on Law, Clifton, JG, TJ, Roger, and everybody who joined us tonight. Mike H, we appreciate it. Mike was asking for those spreadsheets, so he got a double dip here. He got it from Numbers Game and shown in this one. If there's more content, let us know what you guys want to see. We will have to. Gregory, unfortunately, life happened. We weren't able to make that make it to camp, but we are. Yeah, we are so excited that other people got to go, and there was some good vibes hitting there. So as Roger says, you hit that like button and be a fan. We'll be back next week. Hopefully I'll have another Numbers Game out early in the week, and then we'll see you next Wednesday. But until next time,
sign Terry,
be a fan.